This video is intended to describe a Lightblade Talisman named Restoration. And so joining me today will be my whimsical stick figure chakra map for various chakra stimulation cue for the entire crystalline apparatus seen right before us. So the aspect that's relevant to discuss as well is the primary blade band scaffolding, which is seen like so, with the ignition sequence of crystals running a lateral and horizontal scaffolding for the entire apparatus. Starting off with the transmutation ratio, which is a connection of beads with hematite and smoke quartz offset like so, going laterally right here up this quadrant, this lateral band as well, right here. So of course it works as a own contained quadrant of the transmutation ratio running through this entire sequence seen right here, which also works to be a common ground governing pitch to the apex band where the necklace shall be installed, as well as the primary blade band. And hematite is a very powerful grounder of all excess radial energies firmly through the root chakra into the earth stars, into the earth for reprocessing, in tandem with smoky quartz to provide the same energetic stimuli, to provide a very immersive shielding and grounding of excess energy through the root chakra into the earth stars together to have very intrinsic grounding into the earth for reprocessing or etheric dialysis. So of course, with that high frequency earth resonance to bypass energy, of course, is very indicative of transmutation because it's very discouraging by nature for stagnant negative energies to stay in the auric field. And that's precisely also why it makes for quite the integral common ground for the other blade frequencies, and most importantly, to be a firm anchor to make the magic real of the vibratory threshold of this little closed loop apparatus that is developed to be worn as a talisman. So right here, this is where the necklace shall be installed at the apex band. It's a combination of clear quartz to work as a neutral accelerant of the energy, going into red jasper, the quintessential most stabilizing root chakra earth elemental frequencies in the mineral kingdom to stabilize the root of the entire chakra column scaffolding, which is very much the in-the-body experience, strengthening fortification of the entire energy body in a very in-the-body earth practical manner. That's exactly why this is right here for very integral purpose. And the primary blade band, that of the restoration designation, would be clear quartz to work once again as a neutral accelerant of the energy, going into seraphinite. This lovely green ray crystal is a very, very powerful master healer mineral kingdom that works as a very powerful full light body activator, the entire chakra column from top to bottom, to optimize configuration. And most importantly, it works as a very diligent dismantler of patterns of dis-ease found stored in the chakric epicenters. So its true master healer capacity really shines in a prominent blade band focus to be the primary emanation of the containment field's output for, quite simply, the most impeccable full healing universal solvent possible in a crystalline configuration. So like I mentioned, the vaguely resembling figure 8 seen right here with the primary blade band, the blade bands going right here as well as the apex band, works as a recirculation containment field to recirculate the energy very efficiently of all the other exotic crystals affixed to the apparatus. Starting off with, at the very apex, golden healer quartz, which is a combination of iron pyrite and magnetite, which provides a very strong iron base, just like hematite, grounding of excess radial divine energy into the physical plane and bring it into the earth to, of course, ground through the cellular respiration to firmly anchor this energy into tangibility once again, which is very, very shielding and restorative to the auric field as well, and very strengthening for the physical body, just like red jasper. Then right here is purple chaurite, which is a very fantastic violet ray crystal, has a very powerful air elemental, 6th and 7th chakra stimulation, yet its inclusions of black dendric as well as calcite brings a very independently powerful grounding of high frequency energy through the earth star stimulation to ground this energy into tangibility and clear debris not of one's dharmic template. So this is a quintessential dharmic accelerant to align one's divine nature with their physical alignment very quickly. So it's very, very amazing crystal of acceleration of clearing debris and alignment of one's divine purpose. And above that, to support that element, would be Libyan gold tektite. Libyan gold tektite is a very mysterious golden ray space crystal. Quite simply, its results of entering the earth plane are quite fascinating. But the aspect that's relevant here is this was utilized by the pharaohs of Egypt in antiquity to work as a very powerful fire elemental amplification of their solar plexus and sacrum personal will. And with the golden ray of illumination makes for a very powerful enlightening frequency, the entire field as well, which of course makes it another dharmic accelerant of manifestation, one's truest, highest template in connection to creation. Then over here would be two golden ray crystals working together named golden azeztulite from the Himalayas, as well as golden healer quartz. Both of these crystals have intrinsic high divine gold by light source attunement frequency that make for a very powerful direct resonance to the personal energy field, to that of the heart of creation, which is very, very ambitious to put in any endeavor of vibrational engineering, obviously. And so they work very powerfully together with vibrational compound interest to synergize the frequency field pitch to direct source attunement, which is very nice, which of course, as I always say, is a bit of a holy grail divine alignment generator by design through the very complexive crystalline nature of this matrice. Then right here will be moldavite, a green ray crystal quite famous in this timeline for being a very powerful dharmic accelerant of one's highest, truest self, fully manifest in the earth plane, to expedite the process of clearing debris between whatever impedes one's direct heart connection to that of creation in a very swift fashion, which is very famous for magic awakenings, cities, psychic gifts, accelerated, all things that nature through divine alignment is very much the nature of this dharmic accelerant of green ray moldavite seen right there. Then above that would be turquoise, another very classic, famously utilized fifth chakra stimulant of earth, fire, water, and air through a fifth chakra focus, which is a very powerful pranic stimulant from top to bottom as well, and most importantly, a alignment of one's wholeness and truth in creation's alignment. So this next section I'll be discussing will be where the hood shall be installed. Once this video is completely done, of course, it'll be relatively aesthetically pleasing, but I wanted to illustrate the fact that this right here is far more than just for looks. So once it's appropriately installed, it has a distinct purpose of being a white ray, full spectrum generator, of course, to be a color theory resonance to govern the frequency pitch of white spectrum for unified 7 rays. But most importantly, it also works as an insulation. So all these other exotic crystals seen right here next to the transmutation ratio will, of course, mitigate stray radial leakages for their critical function in that purpose of more efficiency energy rerouting and buffering and transmuting through the apex band and the primary blade band, as well as the auxiliary blade face crystals, as well as a way to protect these subtle stones seen right here, so that, of course, they do not have any integral breakage points. So indeed, it is far more than aesthetic, but once it is installed, it does look pretty nice as a complete construct, but is indeed a hood. And this is a very swift, record-breaking fast video almost at this point. And so the aspect of what's under the hood as well would be that of black shungite, which is a very powerful purification carbon-based transmuter of negativity into positivity by very deep, strong, atomical clearing at the carbon-based level of the carbon-based avatar. Hence, it's very famous for mitigating 5G harmful wavelengths we contend with as a modern species, involving the aspects of the harmful energy wavelengths of cell phones, 5G towers, even though I'm using one right now to illustrate this. And so that's the point too, why that's there for many purposes of deep transmutation, purification for the auric field's integrity. Then right here above that would be 2 other members of the Restoration Trinity, that of Tibetan black quartz as well as star argonite. So just like the seraphinite seen as a primary blade band focus, they all work fantastic together due to their similar stimulate capacity for the auric field's activation. Yet all 3 of them are, of course, individual crystals that work fantastic as a trinity or a triangulation of the same frequency of full light body healing from top to bottom to dismantle patterns of disease, to put it relatively simple. So that's why they're there with great efficiency of full universal solvent capacity to dismantle any patterns not of one's divinity, to expedite the process of miraculous healing, quite simply. Then right here is black tektite, which is a product of meteorite impacting sand from heaven to earth. But luckily, it's a black ray crystal of high vibratory nature that fortuitously raises vibrations from the base scaffolding of the Earth stars upwards to the entire auric field. So it's a very pragmatic, practical way to raise vibrations from a base standpoint, so to speak, which is, of course, indicative of one's aligned divine nature of high vibration capacity. And the entirety of the construct actually is affixed to oak from here in Sedona, Arizona. So the oak plays quite the critical role at the center of the construct to take all the silica radius crystal energy built around it and make a further transferability of the wood range into carbon wood, into the carbon capacity of the human avatar for now, to be a very intrinsic resonance to bring tangibility and make the magic real with further alignment to the human avatar. So that's why it's quite critical, as well as oak's a very strong wood, so it's very strengthening to the auric field as well. Then next to the oak on both sides of the blade face core would be white selenite seen on both sides. So selenite by itself is a very fantastic 6th, 7th, 8th non-physical chakra stimulant, clearing debris between one's conscious self and one's higher guidance, which is very nice. And with that high frequency induction also brings a high amount of transmutation of stagnant energies from top to bottom. Anything that blocks the flow of divinity alignment is highly cleared by this frequency, which makes it a true master healer. But where it truly shines, as always in these dissertations, is a critical feature of taking the entire crystal range pitch mentioned so far in 11 minutes, and it works to purify all these crystals in a sequence. It works to harmonize all these crystals in a sequence. It also works to amplify and purify. And so that's the aspect that's quite crucial, is that most importantly, it harmonizes the entire crystal pitch so that the divine guidance is the preface focus of divine alignment with purification and amplification to make it a truly efficient, effective spirit tool. Then on both sides of the white selenite is kyanite, with the aspect of black kyanite being the most rapid transmitter of grounded energy to ground energy very quickly through the entire chakra column, as well as take the entire crystal radius and firmly ground the energy at the speed of quantum light through the root chakra into the earth stars, into the earth for processing, to work like a surge protector to ensure the frequency pitch is always grounding, as well as the aspect of it being another important feature to bring the crystalline radius to make the magic real. As well as blue kyanite to be very encouraging to the third eye's capacities of mitigating cross interference between the left and right hemispheres to promote whole brain thinking, aka awaken third eye. As well as with the black and blue kyanites, it also works as such a rebuffering of energy so quickly, it's very further discouraging for negative stagnant energies to maintain the field with that much rebuffering, like another layer of etheric shielding, if you would, through constant reprocessing and rerouting of energy. And that actually would be the entirety of the crystalline compilation, very swiftly addressed. So in summary, it's quite the diverse full spectrum activator from top to bottom as illustrated, with a very heavy preface of being a very powerful full master healer and quite the dynamic stabilization of that wavelength to further stabilize that the tangibility of that prospect. Well, that would be the Restoration Talisman. 1,000 blessings, and may the force be with us all.